Even before I came to the ashram here, the Pittsburgh, very landscape, it just got my heart. So beautiful hills and rivers, and I saw the city, picture of city with the many bridges. It's also beautiful. And then the ashram named after Sri Ramakrishna. Here we have ashrams, Vedanta Society. So Swami Vivekananda started as Vedanta Society. As you know, devotees of Sri Ramakrishna, their most cherished word is Ramakrishna. Vedanta is very good, everything is nice, knowledge, bhakti, everything is good, but when it is said Ramakrishna, that just is wonderful, it fills our heart. So this ashram's name is Ramakrishna. It didn't start as Vedanta Society of Pittsburgh, so I feel good for that. And when I met the people, the first one to meet here, of course, was Susmita Di, whom we call Di mostly. And she was the one who requested me to come here 6 years ago. She said, I've forgotten totally. And wherever we used to meet, so she used to say, Swamiji, Pittsburgh, we have an ashram, you have to come. I had to say, yes, okay, whenever we come, but that much used to finish. After that, some other program, busy always. And then for last 2 or 3 years, we have friends in Beechwood near Cleveland. They have been saying, Swamiji, Dee is asking you to go, she had been asking you, I'm not going. So after that, now finally it happened. So friends from Toronto, they drove me here, and I'm very happy to meet you all. Such a nice ashram here, and now 2 buildings, and we had the story how this ashram came up with the blessing of Swami Swahanandaji, who himself was the disciple of the direct disciple. Now we have only 1 monk left who is the disciple of direct disciple. Swami Akamananda, disciple of Swami Akhandanandaji. He is like 101 years old, and he lives in Haridwar, Kankhal. So Swami Swahanandaji's blessing and the right hands in you, and how this ashram came, how the devotees are getting together, devotees of Sri Ramakrishna and people who love Vedanta, all are coming together and trying to lead a spiritual life. Such a great fulfillment we have when we find people of same mind and same aspiration together. In the Rigveda Samhita, the last prayer of the Rigveda Samhita, word of wisdom is, may you all aspire with the same mind, may you have same thought, may you walk together, Sangachadvam Samvadadvam, may you speak together. So unity, people coming together, praying together, eating together, sitting together, that itself is a great spiritual act. That itself is wonderful. In Belur Math, after the evening prayer where all devotees, monastics and householders all come and hall is full, and after singing is over, then monks and brahmacharis, especially the brahmacharis of the training center in the formative period, are asked to go to the temple and sit there and meditate and do japam. Some inconveniences might be there, mosquitoes and cold or heat or anything, but that is nothing compared to doing prayer together. For example, Khandana, you all were singing. So beautiful, I was listening upstairs how we all are singing the prayer to Sri Ramakrishna, to Swami Vivekananda, to Holy Mother, all together. And that gives strength. Power of prayer we all have seen in our life. When we feel that what we are doing, perhaps it won't reach the cherished goal. Perhaps it is not sufficient. We need some extra power, which we call blessing. Then we all pray to get something that is beyond our capacity to get. Most of us, before submitting PhD thesis, you see, in Bengal, they all go to Kali Ghat or Dakshineshwar to pray to Mother, do something, defense should be okay, I should get through. And those of you who have ever gone to Sankat Mochan in Benares, and particularly during exam time, that office time traffic increases, like exam time, the crowd swells up in Hanuman temple. Hanumanji, make me get through. Some lacking was there, the study was not proper. Even if the study was proper, then also, even if the study was proper, may I get what I have done? It should be successful. And if it is not proper, more prayer. Less work and more prayer. Some higher power is needed to be invoked. And even before we send satellites and rockets in the space, our scientists will go to Tirupati to pray. Everything is science, everything is okay. But prayer gives us strength. It gives us satisfaction. It gives us assurance. That is the power of prayer. Is it the weakness of the mind? Those who are weak, they pray? No. It gives strength. Prayer makes you strong. You have worked, everything calculated fine, the thing is to be done, then you pray, may it be done well. We have seen monks, great monks, God-realized person, praying every day to Sri Ramakrishna, to Holy Mother, to Swami Vivekananda. Whatever Sri Ramakrishna himself, who is considered as incarnation of God, who realized where the vision of Mother, and yet he used to go to the temple to pray to Mother, and even without going to the temple, his whole life was prayer. Mother, why are you doing this? Why he is coming? Please make it all right. Like that, always talking with Mother and praying. That is the power of prayer. If prayer was not power, why will so many people who believe in God will be praying to achieve success in something? It's not that all are not studying. What to speak of Indians or Hindus, they are very, devoted by very nature. We are born with a faith in God. If we go to Japan, I went to Japan once. It was the month of March or May, sometime like that. And they said, now after their cherry blossom is over and their annual time when there is a lot of crowd is over, you can come that time, they said. We went there. Still there was so much crowd in the temple, and young people, like devotees of India, young students all filling the shrines, Shinto shrines and Buddhist temple. And they are coming by bus, loads of students. And the guide described us, you know why? Because now new admission is going to happen and all want to be admitted in a good school. For that they have come to pray to the shrine. So it is universal. It is universal to pray. Some may not have external prayer, but there should be inner prayer that urge itself is a prayer. That I want to achieve this, and just open yourself that, may I do that. So prayer is very fundamental and very inner to our life. None of us can live without prayer. If you think of the prayer in that way, that it is a desire, a wish to fulfill something for which I myself alone feel not very competent without some higher help, that becomes prayer. For example, a child cries, you see, because child needs something, it's hungry. Then it cannot go and get food. So what is the way? It cries. And you can take that to be the prayer of the child. And mother comes, something is fulfilled. Prayer is fulfilled. When the child cries, it is fulfilled. Sri Ramakrishna says it is fulfilled in such a way, mother was cooking food and the baby had started crying. Mother will somehow take out the food from the hearth, from the oven, and rush to the baby to give help to it. So like that, prayer is very powerful and it acts. It has to be sincere, it has to be with faith. And when we can pray like the child, that we have no other thing to do but I have to get the help of God, then prayer works. Earlier Christian theologian, very old time, Alexander, he was lived in Alexandria. So Clement of Alexandria, he said that prayer is nothing but conversation with God. It's talking with God, it's prayer. You don't have to always recite some formal prayers. That definitely prayer. But when you talk to God, Lord, what will happen? I'm worried. It should be okay. That is prayer. Every moment we pray. When you start driving, that time you say, many of us say, Durga, Durga, Durga. See, in Bengal it's a tradition, they remember Mother Durga. Or somewhere, whatever is their God, you have the photo of Ganesha, or sometimes cross, whatever religion you belong to. And you have faith that this will help in my driving, and a little silent prayer coming, that may this drive be without any obstruction or without any accident. It should be smooth. So, because it is beyond our hands, we don't know. The things happen, even you are driving very carefully, things may happen. So what to do? That time we pray. We pray that Durga itself become a prayer. Therefore prayer is the way to get connected to God. And in that way, if we take the prayer to be in a subtler way, every wish is a prayer. But all wishes we don't direct to God. But still it is a prayer. May I get through. You see, you don't need to go to Tirupati. Even the scientists will make something and wish that, it should go well, it should be successful. That becomes a prayer. Every subtle wish of our heart becomes a prayer. So prayer is not separate from our action for success in our action. It's so important. So they say what type prayers are, how many kinds? They say there are prayers are mainly of two types. One is secular prayer and another is spiritual prayer. Secular prayer is the one we often ask, you see, that may I pass in the exam, may my son's health be okay, may my parents live well. These all are called secular prayers, where we want something worldly benefit. Something becomes prayer that is related to the world. And there is no harm in such prayers. You see, that's very important to pray. Swami Swahanandaji was the one by whose inspiration this ashram was made. And he used to say, some people asked him, Swamiji, is it right to pray about the world, about the children, our own sons and daughters, and relatives and parents? So they be well, my daughter gets a good job, my son passes in exam, and my parents remain well. Is that okay to pray that way, or we should pray only, may I get devotion to you? So what is the you should do? Swami Swahanandi said very nicely, you see, if you have to pray for secular needs, pray to Holy Mother. And for spiritual needs, pray to Sri Ramakrishna. Make me pure, make me illumined, direct to Sri Ramakrishna. And to Holy Mother, it's not that you cannot pray spiritual prayers to Holy Mother. To Holy Mother you can pray anything, including your worldly prayers, prayers for worldly needs, because Holy Mother is the one who understands our life in the world. Once Gopal Ma was coming from someone and they gave some things to her, some food or something. She tied that, and Sri Ramakrishna was also going with her for some distance. And Sri Ramakrishna asked, what is this? What did you bring? He said, oh, they gave me some food. And Sri Ramakrishna said, you ate something and you are carrying for tomorrow? Why do you think for tomorrow? It will be taken care of. You have realized, you have seen Krishna, you have attained everything, and still you have to take care of yourself? You should not tie the things and carry with you. It is like a lack of faith in God. Jesus said, why to think for tomorrow? God don't think, but today you take care, tomorrow He will take care. If you don't take care, God will take care. Like Sri Ramakrishna said very strongly scolded to Gopal's mother. Gopal's mother was very highly spiritual person who had seen vision of Krishna, who brought Krishna to Bal Gopal, gave vision to her, and she became very sad by listening to the scolding of Sri Ramakrishna, very unhappy, displeased, something wrong she did, some guilt feeling. Why did I do that? Then she comes to Holy Mother, crying. Holy Mother asks, why are you crying? What happened? Old lady, you see. What happened? Oh, Gopal scolded me very much. Sri Ramakrishna used to call Gopal. Gopal scolded me very much. Why did he scold you? I was carrying, these people gave me something after food to carry, and I was carrying. He said, why did you have to carry, bind the things and tie the things and carry with you? Then Holy Mother says, you have done the right thing, Mother. How Sri Ramakrishna will know how it is important for the householders. So you have done the right thing, don't listen to him. Just ignore. Because for him everything is done. You are a householder, you are not a monk. So you have to take care of things, and they have given out of love. You didn't ask for them, and they gave, and you cannot just say no. Sri Ramakrishna could say, no, I won't take. Someone was giving money to Sri Ramakrishna, you know that story. And he was pestering in that pani hut. And Sri Ramakrishna said, no, I don't need. And he was pestering like that, and later on, at the end, then they called Radha Maharaj, Swami Brahmananda, he was a young man that time, Rakhal. And he took, and Swami Sri Ramakrishna said, now you have taken it as your responsibility, I don't take money. So he could refuse bluntly. But Gopal's mother couldn't do that. She was bringing the food, and Holy Mother consoled. Where Sri Ramakrishna also couldn't give her, she was very high from level he was saying, but Holy Mother understands the level, our level, what we need. So that's why Swahanandi said, whenever you have to pray for worldly materials, pray to Holy Mother. And you know, whether it's a purity of mind or any other thing or some like clashes, conflicts, when we are human beings, we always have those things. Whether you are a monk or a householder. Once Swami Prabhupada came and he was talking that in this age how loneliness is the problem. And who is there to make us free from the feeling of I am alone, nobody is taking my care? He says, Holy Mother is there. She is the hope for the whole society, old age and young age. And when describing our Holy Mother, he said, I have seen in Birulmat that if in Sri Ramakrishna temple there are 5 persons praying, at the same time in Holy Mother's temple there will be 10, at least 10 persons will be praying. The power of prayer. And as in Bengali they say, Jagrata, one which awakened. You feel your prayers are answered. You feel someone is taking your care. You feel the motherly love that you find in, it's not that you don't find in Sri Ramakrishna, you find more connected, more intimately connected to Holy Mother. So there you have a faith that Holy Mother, we have no problem in praying to her and it will be granted. So you have to have the faith. Sri Ramakrishna always emphasized this aspect of prayer. So now what is spiritual prayers? Seeking divine help in attaining purity and spiritual growth. When we most of us are spiritual seekers, and we know our jobs and other things are the thing that we need to live in the world. We need to survive. We need to sustain ourselves. But our goal is spiritual attainment. So with all the things, that is our primary goal. So to attain that, it's so difficult. When you do study well, you pass in the exam. You give good interview, you also get a job. But when we come for the spiritual seeking, it becomes so difficult to really progress. We feel after many years of prayer and meditation and japam, we are perhaps have not progressed even a few inches. Like that the feeling is there. So what is the reason? So we have not attained the purity of mind. Same anger, same greed. If we analyze our own mind, we find that our anger is not reduced. Same greed is there. Fear is increasing as we grow older. There is fear more, increases more. We become more afraid of death. Young people are not afraid of death as much as the older people are afraid, because we are approaching that final stage. So we are afraid. Fear is there of death. So these things are not going. So how to gain that? I feel I have no power to do this. So naturally we come to the higher power and pray to Thakur or pray to God in whatever form of God we love and wherever we have faith, to make our mind pure and make us progress in our spiritual path. So that becomes spiritual prayer, because that is, we feel it's very difficult. But it is said, as Sri Krishna also said, when you have your mind fully fixed on me and you have total surrender to me and you have full faith in me, then I will take your care. Whatever you need will be supplied. Sri Krishna says not only supplied, he says I will carry myself whatever you need. And whatever you have, I will protect that. Ananyas chintayanto mam ye jana paripasate tesham nitya abhyuktanam. These 2 words, ananya chintana and nitya yukta. These 2 are the conditions Sri Krishna says. Then yoga kshemam vahamyam. I will not only supply, I will carry the things. You know the story how one great devotee, he thought, there must be some mistake in the Gita. Why God has to carry himself? Vahamyam. There should be some wrong in interpretation or something, because God can give that, God can supply that. Bhagwan jab deta hai to chhappar faar ke deta hai. There is one saying. If all your doors and windows are closed and God wants to give you, He can throw that from the roof. Chhappar faar ke roof. He will make the gap and put. So if God wants to give, He can give through any way. Even you are not fit to get, God will give. But He has to wish to give. So when God is so powerful, why He Himself has to carry? Vahamyaham, vahamyaham. So he said that it must be wrong. So he corrected it in his own copy of the Gita. What he wrote? How he corrected? Dadami aham. He said dadami aham. And he had totally devoted, not very rich, people who are given to God mostly, maybe they don't care whether he is rich or poor. So there was no food. The wife said to this saintly person, "You are so devoted, but what will you eat? God is giving nothing. Go and ask for something, find out something you bring." So he went there and with whomever he knew and to gain something, some loan. And after a long time, he came in the afternoon. When he came, his wife was beaming with joy. He said, "Oh, there is so much of food. Why did you do so late? All grocery, all food items, everything is there. I am cooking for you." So he said, "What do you mean? I am carrying some few grains, few in the bag." He said, "No, you already sent with someone. That young boy you sent, how sweet was he? How attractive was that boy? And you made him put on his head all the things." I said, "What happened?" The one boy came, he said that you sent all the things through him. He just carried. But I was surprised, how did you cut his mouth? What are you saying? "Oh, I saw his mouth was cut by some sharp thing and it was bleeding." And I asked, how did it happen? He said, "Your husband cut my mouth." "My husband," I was surprised, "you are so kind, you never even hurt others with words, with thought. And how can you inflict injury on someone's mouth, and that too to that so loving boy, so attractive boy, so charming boy? He was like God. He was so sweet and attractive and charming, and you did this thing to him? I can't understand. I can't really follow that. He gave me, and then he gave the things, and then he went away." Then this Pandit, this saintly person, started thinking, what happened? I never cut anyone. Then he realized, oh, dark complexion, very attractive, very charming. When I saw, I became so happy, and he brought everything for you. Then he remembered, oh, it was Krishna himself that had brought the food needed, carrying on his head, and gave. And he said this cutting was because he had corrected the words of Krishna from Vahamyaham to Dadamyaham, from I carry to I supply. Dadami means I give, to from I carry to I give. So it was as if he endured the word of Sri Krishna, as if he endured Sri Krishna's mouth itself from where the words had come. That this story says. So God supplies, God even can carry, but two conditions. One has to be totally one-pointedly devoted to God, Ananya Chitta, and one has to be Nitya Yukta. You are always Yukta, not only Yukta, totally united with God. God is always residing in your heart. You have to feel the presence of God always. Then everything is carried by God. So he carried, there's no doubt. When people say Jesus said, I save. Jesus definitely saves. Definitely saves. Krishna says, which Ramakrishna says, there is no problem at all. So, this is one prayer for the things. So when the devotee is satisfied with God and its gift, then also he will pray. For what he will pray or she will pray? She will pray only for spiritual illumination. Even that he may not or she may not pray. But what prayer is a symbol of what you really wish to get. You have eagerness to get. You have eagerness to strive for spiritual illumination, and when you come in front of the presence of God, you feel that I want that. You may not say in your words, but in your heart you may speak that I want that. When Swami Vivekananda went to Mother Kali to ask for food and clothing for the family, so he went there and he came back to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna asked, did you pray? He said, no, I forgot. How did Sri Ramakrishna, why did Narendranath forget? What is the reason? Because he saw God himself or Mother Kali herself there. It was like vision of God. What Sri Ramakrishna had as the ocean of light, Swami Vivekananda had in another sense. He saw the living presence of God in the image of Divine Mother. And when he saw God, he was full of happiness and bliss, and he totally forgot what he needs. That moment was so full of joy, there is no question of asking anything. He forgot totally to ask. And came back and said, I forgot. Otherwise, why would he forget? Then Sri Ramakrishna sent him twice, 2 times he forgot, and 3rd time he said, what are you there? Why are you not able to ask? He went there, this time he said, I have to remember, Sri Ramakrishna said. He went there, he saw God, and he prayed. He asked. What did he ask for? Not for clothing and food for the family members, but for viveka and vairagya, for dispassion and detachment, for spiritual growth. That was his prayer. All worldly needs, he could not pray. He could not pray for the fulfillment of worldly needs of his family, for which he had come to Dakshineswar for that reason, which was bothering him. Remember that he has come to pray this, but he could not pray. That is the sign of a true devotee. They don't have to pray. Then what happened? He came to Sri Ramakrishna. Sri Ramakrishna asked, did you pray this time? He said, yes. What did you ask? He said, I asked for dispassion and detachment and for devotion. Oh, that's very good you did. He was very happy. Only spiritual prayer. And when he asked that, he said, you don't have to worry for other things, that will be taken care of. Your family will have no dearth of the simple clothes and simple food. That was Sri Ramakrishna's blessing. So, real devotees pray only for spiritual illumination, having full faith that everything they need for survival will be supplied, will be arranged, will be carried by God Himself. That is the faith. So faith and prayer go together. If you do not have faith in God, then prayer doesn't work. When our Bhuvaneshwari Devi wanted to have a child, boy, he had already daughters. So what did she do? She asked her relative who was living in Varanasi to pray to Vireshwar Shiva for the child. So she has a faith in prayer. Who is another person is going and praying on behalf of her, it doesn't mean that she is not praying. She is also totally connected with the prayer, with the thought that on my behalf that relative of mine goes to Shiva every day and prays. So in fact the other lady was praying connected to Bhuvaneshwari Devi herself. If Bhuvaneshwari Devi had no faith in the power of prayer and the power of Lord Shiva, Vireshwar Shiva, to grant her son, why will she pray? And boy was born. And what name she gave? Vireshwar. Why? Because it was born by the grace of Shiva. That she has complete faith. There is no doubt about that. And she used to say when the boy was very naughty, she used to say, I prayed for Shiva to come to my house, and Shiva didn't come, and he sent one demon. He's one of the demons. And he's so naughty, doesn't listen. So that was her just saying and joking, because son was naughty, you see. She was to love. Naughty children are always loved by the parent. There's nothing. If you are quiet or naughty, for mother doesn't matter at all. The love of mother is same for any child. Whether you are good or you are not so good, mother's love is equal for everyone. But that she used to say. So prayer is effective when one has faith in the power of prayer and in the power of whom it is prayed, that person will be able to grant that. Why is there so much crowd in Tirupati temple, where in Pittsburgh is Tirupati temple, and not so much in other places? Other temples have no so much crowd going. Where Tirupati temple you have to stand in queue for many hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, sometimes one day. Because people have faith that Tirupati, whatever is asked, he gives, he grants. This faith in the one who can give you the boons, answer your prayers. And faith in the prayer, power of prayer itself. Without faith in the power of prayer, prayer won't be effective. When you say, "Oh Lord, please remove my bondage with this world. Khandana bhavabandhana jagabandhana bandito mai." Though there is not much of asking in that prayer, it's very wonderful prayer that Swami Vivekananda has written about Sri Ramakrishna. More than petitioner, it is an adoration prayer. You see, it says about the qualities of Sri Ramakrishna. So we'll come to different kinds of prayer. Prayer is the first step of struggle for spiritual perfection. How it starts, you see. First we start praying. One wish comes. I am not satisfied with my own position in life. The way I think, the way I behave, the way I have little devotion to God, I am not satisfied. I want to be purer, I want to be better person, I want to be more loving to God and loving to all. I want to get rid of my fear and anxiety. So I am not satisfied with position or status of my mind as I have. So what we do first, the very first step that for that spiritual growth is prayer. You see, when you pray, then the light comes. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, if you want to go to Puri, no one wants to, that the first step that one has to go to Puri. And instead of going towards east from Calcutta, that person towards the south and southwest from Calcutta, that person goes towards north. Still, if you have that wish, strong wish to go to Puri and have taken the wrong way, you will reach Puri guided by someone. One person will say, "Where are you going?" "Oh, I am going to Puri." "Why are you coming north? This way." "It is not that way. You have to go towards another way, towards south. That way you have to travel." So that first step is the prayer. Without first step you won't reach there. So prayer is the first step for spiritual perfection. So our coming to the place of worship is the first step. And there we know we have talks, we read books, we think about Sri Ramakrishna, we sing songs. And prayer becomes effective when our mind is actively engaged in the prayer that we recite. If it is a recitational prayer, or if it is coming from the heart when we have communication with God, then it becomes effective. Otherwise the prayer just becomes like the mechanical recitation. It won't work. So when we say any prayer, that has to be Om Hrim Ritam Tasmat Tameva Sharanam Mama Dina Bandho. Said to Sri Ramakrishna, and the last word of the every sloka is, "O Dina Bandho, you are my refuge. Give me shelter." Why Dina Bandho? I am Dina. Why Dina? I am meek, I am humble, I don't have the things, I don't have the means. So this feeling of humility or not having lack of arrogance, that what you want to gain, I have nothing of that, I will get that from you. And Tasmat Tameva Sharanam. Therefore I take refuge in you, O Lord, because you are a friend of lowly, friend of those who have no power, friend of those who are helpless. That helplessness and faith and the prayer comes. When we can associate ourselves with the prayer like that, then we get the answer. It becomes more effective. Otherwise, just we chant, come together, chant, and then we go back, and not much change happens. To happen the change, we have to have connected with the Lord. So that happens with our everything. Even if you go to, suppose you go to Tirupati temple here, Venkateswara temple, and if you go inside and feel the presence of God in the deity, and then pray to God, so when you go inside and come outside, there will be a difference in your mental status. You will feel more confidence in yourself, you will feel more peaceful, and you will feel a little change in yourself. If you go inside, offer that something, Pandit is doing that, you take some light and put on your head, and nothing you have any feeling, you go without feeling, then you come back without having anything. As you have gone, you come back outside, the same person, same anxiety, same tension, same worry, same feeling for others. No change in oneself. So prayer has not taken place that time because you were not connected. You could not feel the presence of God there. So presence of God has to be brought from our inside, that there is the presence of Lord. Wherever there is a statue, you can have that. Wherever there is a photo, those who worship God without form, for them also same thing. When they go to the places of worship, they have to feel the presence of God. Whether it is a mosque, or even Gurudwara, where there is no image, or in the church. So, whatever symbol they have, or the emblem they have, if they feel the presence of God and feel that their prayers are granted and they have conversation, they will come changed, and that will become effective prayer. This is all about the prayers by person who have faith in God. So can atheists pray who have no faith in God? Is their prayer possible for them? Even they can pray. As I said, the wish, may it happen, may it be successful, that itself is prayer. And Sri Ramakrishna Sri Ramakrishna is so modern that he said, if what is wrong, even if you have no full faith in God, just you can pray, oh God, if you are there, please save my soul if soul is real. That itself becomes prayer. He has no faith in the presence of God or presence of soul. Oh God, if you are there, and please take care of my soul if soul is here. So like that, even the atheists can pray, because wish itself is a prayer, and stronger will is a greater prayer. I have to do this with that sense of full absorption into your job, into your wish. Then you become more active, and it is a sort of prayer. You gain more than what you have thought. Only for those who are non-believers, the thing that comes is that because they don't have full faith in God or some higher power, so they have to have without they pray, and they have to depend too much upon themselves, which they know are not perfect and not too much powerful. They are weak persons. We are a human being. We are frail. We are weak. We are not fully competent, and yet we think I can do myself. And when that person does, he knows weakness, and yet he has so much of ego and arrogance, he doesn't want to believe in God. And for that, if whatever he does or she does, so that will be effective and helpful if the more self-confidence that person has. And that self-confidence will become like a prayer and will help it in achieving the goal. Because that will make that person create something, achieve something which that person would not have achieved without that self-confidence, strong willpower. That will be a sort of prayer. But always the belief is the theists are in the positive side, on the better side, because they believe in God and power comes. For them it is easier to pray. And when they give themselves in the hands of God and God also, it is easy to pray. You know that story in the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. Once person was going thinking of God and walking through, he had to cross the river, and their washermen had dried the clothes. This story, if you say here, it's very difficult to explain. What is washerman? What is drying on the river bed? Like that, on the bank of the river. So those who come from India, they know. So washermen, they dry on the bank of the river, and the cloth dry, and then they fold and then iron and they give supply to the clients. So this was drying, and this person was absorbed in thought of Vishnu. And while walking, he didn't realize that there was clothes, freshly washed clothes were spread on the ground. So he walked over them. And the people who had just washed the clothes, they become very angry because their clothes were stepped by someone. He was walking, there is the dust there, mud there, and they became very angry, and he started throwing small stones on that person out of anger. Now Vishnu saw in heaven that my devotee is being given trouble by some people. He did not deliberately, he did out of love for me. He was totally unaware of the place. So even without his prayer, Vishnu had to protect because he is devotee. So Vishnu was in Lakshmi and he rushed from Vaikuntha. He rushed outside, and after a few minutes he again came back. Lakshmi said, "Where did you go?" Then he said this story, my devotee was in trouble. He was unaware of the clothes that were dried, washed clothes that were being dried in the sun, and he stepped on them, and when he was in trouble and the people were throwing stones on him to say, protect him, I had gone. So then what happened? Why did you come back? He said, then he laughed and said, I didn't have to protect him. I saw he himself had picked the stones and throwing on the washerman. He was not praying. He thought he can do himself, though he was totally absorbed in God thought, but when difficulty came, this thought of prayer that God will save didn't come. And then God also came, okay, if you have so much of thing, you can do yourself, now save yourself, whatever happens, I am gone. and then you know the story of Gajendra Moksha. Gajendra Moksha's story is very nice about the prayer. That elephant caught by the crocodile. And prayer didn't come like that. First he was trying to bring back his leg. And in water, you know, this crocodile is mightier than elephant. The biggest land animal of the present time. And the crocodile is much smaller but it was so powerful it was dragging. So the more he tried, more he was going into the water. Finally, when he found that his power is not enough to protect himself, then what to do? Then you pray to God. And that prayer, the prayer is a beautiful prayer. And then God comes barefooted, they say. He came and then he saved that Gajendra. When prayer is done with faith, it happens. You know the story of Draupadi. When nothing worked, nobody protected. Where did she look for? Krishna, the Lord. And Krishna came and protected her. So like that, when we find ourselves not fully competent to achieve the thing that is needed or in danger, then prayer comes automatically. That happens. So if when people are a little afraid and going in dark, what did they repeat? Ram, 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 no, Hanuman, 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 like that. Either Hanumanji will save or Ram. The ghost will not come. If we say, repeat the name of Hanumanji, Hanuman jab naam sunave, Bhuta Pishata Nikata Nahi Ave, Tulsidas said, and say Hanuman, Hanuman, and go. And that Hanuman, saying just name of Hanuman, repeating the name of Hanuman itself is a prayer. Though you are saying Hanuman name, you are not saying many languages, but in your mind it is there, Hanuman, if I say, he will come and protect me. You may not say Hanuman, please save me. Just say Hanuman, Hanuman, and Hanuman comes and protects. That faith one has. And with that faith, they can walk in the dark. They can go through that dangerous, fearful position. That faith in God. And the Madhusudan Dada thing, you know that story. He just said with faith, Madhusudan Dada come, and God came. Only we need to have that much faith that God is there and God will protect. And that faith is produced by prayer. You see, when the boy Jatila called for Madhusudan Dada, he prayed with full faith because his mother had said, in the forest lives your brother. Oh brother Madhusudan, where are you? Please come. And with full faith he did, and God came. If we do the thing with full faith like that, God still is come. That beautiful song is there. कौन कहता है कि कृष्ण खाते नहीं, कौन कहता है कि कृष्ण नाचते नहीं. If you can do like that, it is still living. God is very much present here itself. That we need to have increased the power of our feeling and power of thinking and faith in the presence of God. And that power develops with the intensity of our prayer. The more intense prayer we have, more sincere prayer we have, more manifestation of God is likely. So prayer is one is petitionary, that we ask. We talk to God and ask. Something we ask. Either worldly things. And people were there, they asked many things from God, you know. So one person was asking to God, Lord, may I get lottery? The big jackpot, asking lottery, Lord, may I get 5 million, 7 million, like that, a lottery. So he was asking, and he was believing in God and all that. He prayed a lot to God. And God one day said, you are praying so much to me, but I cannot grant you lottery like that. First you have to buy the ticket. He was praying, but he didn't have faith that God will give. He didn't even do a little minimum required to get the lottery. First you buy the ticket and then you pray. Then with the question that I will grant you or not. So what is that? Little doing and prayer comes. That is walking one step. Walk with a desire to go to Puri. You walk out of your house with a wish to go to Puri, go to the wrong direction, you will be put in the right direction. Sri Ramakrishna says, walk one step towards God. God will come 10 steps towards you. The distance will be less. He will come towards you. So with that faith if we do. Sri Ramakrishna, that example, the grace of God is always there. But you unfurl the sail. You are doing nothing. How the breeze, it will catch breeze. Do a little and then pray. Prayer has to be in communication, communion with in connection with the some effort done. Then the grace comes in the form of prayer. Just you pray without doing anything, then it doesn't happen. That as the Sanskrit story says, nahi suptasya singhasya pravishanti mukhe mrigaha. Lion is sleeping and he says, oh, deer will come to my mouth and I will eat. Little effort is needed. And effort and then prayer. Both these happen, then the thing happens. Daivam chaivatra panchamam, Sri Krishna says in the Gita. There are many factors for the success of a work, and the fifth factor is Daiva, that is the divine factor. So, petitionary prayer works. Another prayer is adorational prayer, you see. Adorational prayer is praise of the Lord. It can be two types. Adoration, one is prayer to God. You have done so much, I am so grateful to you. Really your heart feels very good. Like Sri Krishna was praised by Arjuna. Show me your Vishwarupa, you have been showing you are everywhere around that. How could I be sure that you are really everywhere? Can you show me your universal form? He said that, prayed a lot. So he was friend to Arjuna. Sri Krishna was friend. Sri Krishna then revealed himself in universal form. Huge, infinite. I cannot see your beginning, your middle and your end. And your eyes are like a sun and moon. And you have myriads of hands and myriads of eyes and myriads of mouths. It was a terrible form of God. Terrible form of God. And he saw everything coming to God. Everything is like finishing. God is devouring everyone. Arjuna, Sri Krishna had the purpose to show that to Arjuna. Arjuna was too afraid of battle, performing his rightful work, his duty of defending justice. And he was afraid to be killed and to kill those who are in the enemy side. As a warrior, as a defendant of justice, he had to perform his duty and he was not doing. Even Sri Krishna said that you should do Atma doesn't die, he was not agreeing to that. Sri Krishna in second chapter said everything. When first chapter was Arjuna Vishada Yoga, second chapter Sri Krishna get everything. That also Arjuna is not listening. Then Arjuna said, I want to see your universal form. You said that you are in every form there. I want to see your uniform. In 10th chapter he said, I am there in the plant, in the tree, in the cow, in the everything. Then he said, then show me. Then when Sri Krishna showed his universal form, Vishwarupa Darshana, then Arjuna was terrified and said, I see you, O Lord. Then he understood with whom you are. Please forgive me. I said you sometimes Yadava, sometimes Sakha, sometimes I've treated you like a friend. I didn't know your glory. You are such a glorious being. Please forgive me. And then his prayer, the Sthane Rishi Kesa Tava Prakritya. The glory of God. Then it was nothing was asked. Just praising the God and God's glory. The beautiful passage in the 11th chapter from Sthane Rishikesh Prakritya. And O Lord, I bow down to Thee from the north, from the south, from the front, from the back. I bow down to Thee, O Lord. Can you do one thing now? I want to see your original form. I am too afraid of your this universal form. I would like to see you as Tenaiva Rupena Chaturbhujena Bhavavishwamurte. O universal form God, I want to see you in that four-armed, benign form. This prayer of Arjuna in the Bhagavad Gita 11th chapter is the adorational prayer. Prayer that he showed him and now he wants to see him in the benign form. Rudra yatte dakshinam mukham tena mam pahi nityam. That is also a prayer. O Rudra, please protect me by your benign south face. Dakshinam mukham. The Shiva, sometimes terrible. Shiva destroyer, sometimes destroyer. But I don't want that form of Shiva. I want benign, protective form of Shiva. Please show me that face. So, though it is petitional, but that sort of prayers Arjuna did to Sri Krishna, that is one prayer. And other prayer is to prayer to thank. Sometimes we ask to God, give me that, make me pass in the exam. You see, many are there, students go to Hanumanji to get through in the exam. Big crowd. After exam, many pass. But although they do not come, although they do not come to thank, oh Hanumanji, by your grace it happened, that is very lacking the faith and lacking the faith that really they pass by the grace of God. That is also not there. My work is done, now forget. Who gave the thing? Who gave the God? To God that He gave me this and I would do the thing. So those who are sensitive beings, they will go back again and thank the Lord that by your grace I could do whatever I could do. It was done. So that is the prayer of thanks. So adorational prayer can be adoration and praise of God or a prayer of thanks to the God. So like that, prayer is very effective thing. Prayer is not only there in Hinduism. In fact, Hinduism there was prayer in the Vedic times. Our Brahmana portion of the Vedas is all prayer, mantra, all mantra, sukta. What are the sukta? Purusha sukta, Narayana sukta, all are prayer to God. Some are adorational, some are like Shamaka Prashna. All is prayer. What is Shamaka Prashna? You ask from God the things to gain. Rupam Dehi, Jayan Dehi, Yasho Dehi, Dvisho Dehi. Chandi, what is Chandi? It's all prayer, petitional though. You want something, but there is, every prayer can be done in a spiritual way. When we say Rupam Dehi, Jayan Dehi, Yasho Dehi, Dvisho Dehi, that may not mean only physical thing. Make me more handsome and beautiful. It doesn't mean that. With God you don't ask. Whatever you are, for that you don't have to ask. You have to go to some cosmetic shop and buy some powder and something, then you look better. But Rupam Dehi here says, may I manifest the glory of my being. Your Rupa, your real form, real beauty is the beauty of your pure mind, of your soul. Jayan Dehi, may I be able to conquer my mind and manifest my goodness. Yasho Dehi, give me the glory of the manifestation of my spiritual nature. May I be more kind, more loving, more sacrificing, more forbearing. That is called Yasha. Dvisho Jahi, may my lower mind be removed by your grace. Rupam Dehi, Jayan Dehi, Yasho Dehi, Dvisho Jahi. So that's why this becomes, every prayer becomes something you connect with God and you can pray that way. But prayer in Hinduism, later on, after the Vedic times, it changed more on the worship side. You see, temple, elaborate worship, flowers, chandan, all the rituals, pour water that way, say this mantra, and more become ritualistic. Or it became like upasana, more of meditation on the Ishta, how to meditate, you think of that, control your mind and meditate. But real prayer, that was our Vedic literature, became sidelined. It is Sri Ramakrishna which revived prayer. In the Gospel you will find at many places emphasis on pray to God. One person comes to Sri Ramakrishna and says, Master, what is the way? That was the thing. Upaya ki. What is the way? You understand for what the way? To earn more money? No. What is the way for spiritual perfection, spiritual evolution, spiritual growth? Sri Ramakrishna says two things. Prayer and holy company. Prayer and holy company. That will make you grow spiritually. Prayer first. Prayer is the wish. Your first desire, what is the way? How can I progress? That wish itself is a small prayer. Now you come and make it more powerful and say, I want to progress spiritually. And how, what is the way? Where to find? What is the path? Then comes holy company. Either you meet some people who lead a life of spirituality, or you get connected with some life of some saints, how they lead their life, or read some books, conversational, like Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna or Bible or Bhagavata Purana. Those all becomes holy company. Holy company doesn't mean sadhu sangha or satsanga, doesn't mean you have to have living human being. Always it is not available. So still we can have holy company. Listening to good songs with focus on the meaning of bhajan, that becomes holy company. Singing devotional song, that becomes holy company. No, I cannot sing, someone will say, I don't know, my voice is not right. You don't have to sing in a theater in front of other people, but singing for yourself, just with you and God. God will never mind whatever your voice or whatever your thing is there, not in music. You are singing for God. So that becomes holy company. Listening bhajan, singing of songs, devotional songs, reading scriptural books, of course meeting people, holy people. Even the holy company is the company of good people. Holy doesn't mean only monks and priests, you see. Holy means anyone who has holier thoughts, that become holy, pure thoughts. And holy company has to be company when that person is in that state. Even our friends, devotees, their company becomes holy company. Sri Ramakrishna often used to say, go there and meet him to Subodh
young man came, go and meet him, young Mahendra. Mahendra master used to say, go and meet him. He said, what to go, he's a householder. You go there and meet him. He will talk only of here. He will not talk anything else. That becomes holy company. You see, he is encouraging devotees to come together and talk the divine things. That becomes holy company. Our parents, our brothers, even our children's company can be holy if we talk nice things, positive things. The things which we give such inspiration. Even talking with our children can become holy. The sign of holy company is after your conversation or association, you feel much better. Oh, I had nice time. When after you talk with someone and it's all conflicting talks, all talk of whether there is a conflict and there is a struggle, and that becomes unholy. Even with the holy person, you come and start arguing something. Argue about some political person, you come to the holy person. You say this person is bad, that person is bad. Person Swamiji is just listening to that, not saying, smiling. And you bring all your whatever was wrong in you and you say, criticize. That and you spend like half an hour with the monk, and when you go out, you are more agitated than when you came. Where is the holy company? Where is the holy company? That doesn't mean holy company. Holy company is when we can put our mind in nicer thoughts. That we can do with any person. It depends on my wish to put mind on good thoughts. So that's what Sri Ramakrishna says. Prayer and holy company are the way. Oh, simple imaginary religion, you see. To grow spiritually, if you want to be a student of Vedanta, there is in Vedanta Sara you will find you have to have learned all the things, all the Vidivat Adita Veda Vedanta, when you have studied all the scriptures, and then you are very eager to realize God. Dipta Shira, as if your head is burning, and then as the person whose head is on fire runs to the water, like that you run to your guru, and you practice all four paths, Viveka, Vairagya, Samadhi, Satya, Sampatti, Moksha, all you have done, then you are fit to practice spirituality. Then you can become a student of spirituality. Then you can expect to progress in a spiritual path. Sri Ramakrishna said, simple, prayer and holy company. Prayer and positive, nice conversation, nice thought. So nice. And this prayer helps to have that. Prayer is the first beginning. Just coming to God and say, may my mind be pure. May I not injure anyone. May my mouth doesn't say anything injurious. There's one very nice, this chanting is there. Bhadram karane bhi srinuyama devaha Bhadram pashe maksha bhirya jatraha. You see, this prayer itself says that may I hear what is good, may I speak what is good, may I see what is good. This, just the goodness, it doesn't say anything, it doesn't say about the God, vision or anything, just positive, good, nice, and not trying to injure anyone, not trying to hurt. We often hurt others by some thoughts, and when we have some negative thoughts about others, then the word comes. And this word and thought, physical hurting is very rare, but hurting, injuring others in our thought or speech is sometimes very common. I said him, and when you hurt someone, that comes to you also. That's why, may I not injure anyone. Like that prayer you do, and it comes to you. That becomes the power of prayer. And how we say, if we are sincere in our prayer, then we find that how we are progressing, how you feel nice after your prayer. Soon after your prayer you feel much better, much nicer, refreshed. And your behavior changes. Your behavior changes, your capacity becomes stronger to face the world. If someone says something when you are disturbed, little thing may ignite you. You may react in different way. They say when you are happy and driving the car, and someone comes on the way, you want to go in between you and the front car. and then you put the brake, hit the brake, and you let other person go. You are in a happy mood. But when you are unhappy, then what you do? The one person is trying to come, then you hit the gas, and you make the speed, and you don't allow. The same person. It depends on what type of mood you are. When you are in a happy mood, you like to help others. You feel more connected with others, and that happiness can come through prayers. That always to be able to keep in that mood. But the prayer is mostly more commonly emphasized by Jesus in the Bible. It's always say, pray to God for all. Saint Paul says, pray without ceasing. No stop, continuous prayer. How can that be possible? Nothing else doing, all prayer. All free time, think of God and think of goodwill for others. Thinking about the good of others itself is a prayer. I met one devotee. He is connected with Vedanta Society of Toronto. I went to his 70th birthday. They invited. 75th?
75th.
Huh?
75th.
75th birthday. And that person is not initiated. No mantra. But so good. And he told us the secret of that person's goodness. He said, I didn't take initiation. I don't do japam. But I sit half an hour in my shrine. Then what do? I pray for everyone that I know. And there were many persons that were gathered there, 50, 60 persons. He said, there is none among you 60 persons that I do not pray every day for you. That was that person's spiritual practice. Just he was at that state of his human level because of his prayer for the goodness of others. That becomes a way to meet God. When you think about the good of others, that is meeting God. That person will have, if it goes on, will have God. Sri Ramakrishna will be pleased, and we believe at the end he will come. I am very pleased with you. That we all hope that, you see. People say, have you seen Sri Ramakrishna? The answer is not yet, but I will. So when? If not before death, at the moment of death, last breath, Sri Ramakrishna has to come. Because Holy Mother has said, all those who follow Sri Ramakrishna, he is bound to come. He will surely come. That faith I have. So Sri Ramakrishna will come at the point when we have to, last breath comes. So this person just praying for the good of others, that itself makes him so wonderful person. One of the best among our congregation there. No initiative, no mantra, no japam, only by prayer for others. Unselfish. Even people don't know that he prays for others. Only that day he was overwhelmed. We did him, their people gave him the surprise party. That was his spiritual practice. And there is prayer in Islam also. Islam prayer is very important. One of the 4 pillars of practice of Islam is 5 times prayer. And before prayer is azan given. God is great. God is to be adored. And then they pray. You know that prayer is congregational prayer. If they, and sometimes they pray in Fridays and celebratory days like Eid, they pray together. Again, together prayer is important. If not together, they pray in their houses. That's why it's a loudspeaker they use, or earlier they used to climb the palm tree and then they shout, "This is time for prayer." The adhan means that it is time for prayer, and all will be ready, and they will give up everything and pray 5 times a week, remembering God. Remembering 5 times a day, remembering God is a big thing, and though compulsory, if they do it sincerely, it will have its effect. Prayer has its effect. And I have heard from one person who was in Saudi Arabia, and if she has so many things about the people who are like fanatic, this, that. Fanatic people are there in every religion. But there are so nice people, that person said, I have met Swami, there are people in Saudi Arabia, they were so genuine, so good, that their prayer was effective in their life. That 5 times doing prayer with sincerity, remembering God at least 5 times a day. But here, this Paul says, pray unceasingly, without stop. Always you do. If 5 times a prayer can be so effective, done with connection with God, if we could think of God always and pray to God always, how it will be. You find in the life of that Philokalia, writer of Philokalia, Pilgrim's Progress, he says that I was always to pray, Lord Jesus, have mercy on me. And that was constant prayer, constant thought of it. In Hinduism also we have that type of prayer. We call ajapa japa. That every breath should think of God. Every breath should think of God. And that means that whatever our leisure time, when our mind is not engaged in anything, it should be engaged in the thought of God. When that is so intense, prayer is so intense, its effect will be very quick. Our progress in spiritual life becomes very quick with intense of the prayer, intense, and the quicker the progress in our spiritual life. So this much for now today. So we'll talk other 2 lectures in other 2 about the prayers. About our beautiful prayer that we have, the most popular prayer, ancient and it's very effective and very popular, Gayatri Mantra. So we'll talk about it in another class.
Questions?
Yeah, question. Cool.
Swami, one question from me. The faith and the prayer are together, or do the prayer increases our faith?
Prayer increases the faith.
So we should have first faith, then we have to...
No, prayer increases the faith. Prayer increases the faith. When Swami Vivekananda went to Mother Kali, he had no faith. He came to Sri Ramakrishna to ask. He had more faith in Sri Ramakrishna than in Mother Kali. That's why he said, give me that. You bless that it happens. He said, go to the temple. He never went to the Kali temple. Sri Ramakrishna, his guru, whom he loves, God and all that, he used to criticize. Oh, Sri Ramakrishna still goes to Mother Kali temple. He used to say that. No. That person himself went there to pray, and as I said, he had the vision of God, and then that was the prayer. So prayer increases. His prayer started with praying to Sri Ramakrishna something. And prayer will increase faith. If we have faith, total faith, then you have attained everything. Then the prayer will be very automatic. You don't have to think about the prayer at all. So prayer is the beginning of spiritual life. Prayer will increase your faith in God. And with faith in God will increase faith in yourself. Both faith will come through prayer. Prayer is the first step in spiritual life.
Thank you, sir.
I think it's done.